The November 6th election is not just about the White House. It is a critical election for Congress as well. Which party will stay in control or take control? Democrats say they are confident they're going to pick up seats in the House. There are key races to watch all across the country: Ohio, California, and Massachusetts. With us now is the chairman of the National Republican Congressional Committee, Congressman Pete Sessions of Texas, joining us now live from Florida. Congressman, thank you so much for your time today.
And I'm delighted to be with you.
All right, you know your Democratic counterparts have been talking a big game, saying that they feel confident they're going to pick up seats in the House, maybe even retake control. How are you planning to stop them?
Well, we're planning on stopping them by simply telling the truth. Mitt Romney did that at the beginning of this week. The tax cliff that comes off, the spending, the taxes, and the more government bureaucracy is exactly what the Democrats are selling. This has caused a huge impact on employment in this country. We have a lack of jobs, and the future that lies ahead for the country is very bleak economically. Republicans offer a sound plan, not just to cut taxes, but to get us back to work. And I think our candidates all across the country differ with every single Democrat on this issue. So I think we'll do just fine.
All right, we've mentioned some of the key states where you're watching particular races: Ohio, California, Massachusetts. Can you give us some insight into places where you're focusing the most attention, maybe seats that are sort of leaning one way or the other, and you're devoting a lot of resources to making sure it falls into your column?
Well, in fact, you did mention a race in Massachusetts. Richard Tassay, one of the top Republican challengers that we have against John Tierney in Boston. Richard is doing a fabulous job. John has ethically challenged the American people. Not only want and need honest members of Congress, but Boston will insist upon it too. I think we're going to win that seat. Certainly, as you look across the country, Republicans are on offense all across the country against Democrats. Look in Utah, Mia Love running against a longtime Democrat incumbent who votes for taxes and spending, but most of all for Nancy Pelosi and the agenda. It is all about not just the EPA, but also the IRS, to empower them to collect higher taxes and to make life more difficult. As you look all across the country, Republicans are talking about the EPA rules and regulations that inhibit jobs and job creation. I think we have a sound policy and plan, one which we vetted and talked about and passed the bills in the House of Representatives, including a budget for the 2 years that John Boehner's been our Speaker. We intend to follow the rules of this country and the laws to give American business a chance to compete globally, and we're going to get it done.
All right, in looking at polling that takes a snapshot, a very broad one, the generic congressional polling, this comes from an average on Real Clear Politics, which puts together a lot of different polls. They give a plus 0.3 advantage to the GOP, clearly within the margin of error. It is going to be tight. I want to give you a chance to respond to something that your counterpart said. Congressman Steve Israel, a Democrat out of New York who heads up the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, he said this, quote, "Mitt Romney has been a majority maker for the DCCC." Do you think Mitt Romney is a help or hurt to the GOP? Because Democrats say he's been great for them.
Well, I think all you have to do is look at Republicans running in key states that and seats that Democrats have traditionally held, and we are up and have an advantage. I think Steve Israel recognizes that taxing and spending has reached its margin in this country. It has cost us millions of jobs. It will bother not only Democrats this election cycle, but will help Republicans. Mitt Romney is a strong leader who stood up and talked against the talking point, one of the favorite ones that Steve Israel has, and that is how Republicans want to send jobs overseas. Mitt Romney said, "I've been in business 40 years and never seen a tax advantage." And that is an advantage to us when you have an experience at the top of the ticket of building jobs, job creation, and a chance to turn this country around. I believe in Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney, and I think Steve Israel is going to find out that Republicans once again hold the House quite soundly by defeating Democrats.
We'll find out 1 month from today, barring any recounts and fallout. Congressman Pete Sessions, thank you, sir, for your time today.
You bet.
All right, pastors all across the country are